All right, so we should go live. We are almost live and we are just able to. Okay, so everyone, we are just waiting for this live webinar to start and just we are allowing ourselves to kind of like allow all our viewers to join this live webinar. And trust me, guys, one of the biggest issues with these live webinars is like it's hard to start welcoming people because, um, we kind of like need to wait for some time. The streaming software will start, and once the streaming starts, and then we will officially be starting the live webinar. So, guys, we are just waiting for 2 more minutes. We will allow all other participants to join this live webinar. And once it's live, then it will be awesome to start this webinar. 2 more minutes, and then we will start right away. Meanwhile, it's an awesome day here in India, and I'm just trying to record this session in case if somebody needs the recorded video. Definitely, this video will be live on YouTube, but still, it's like it's better to kind of like record the session, right? Last 1 minute before we go live, and meanwhile, I can see there are a lot of people who have started joining in the this live session where we will discuss about Oracle SQL versus PL SQL, that's procedural language SQL. And final 30 seconds before we officially start this live webinar. And guys, for people who wants to kind of like ask questions, if you see beside this live webinar, you will have a live chat option from where you can type your chat or your query. So in case you have any doubts, you can always type in into the chat, and I, along with one of our guests whom I'm going to introduce you in just some time, we will help you answer all your queries. Technically, this webinar should last for 1 hour or 1.5 hour max. And we see a couple of people who join in and they directly started asking questions how to remove bad bind variable error. So guys, I'm so excited, and if you also have an PLSQL expert with us. So all right, let's start. Welcome everyone. This is Arun, your friend from DBA Genesis, and I officially welcome you on this Oracle SQL versus PL SQL live webinar. This is the live webinar where we are going to look at the power of PL SQL. We will understand the difference between SQL and PL SQL. You will also know how powerful PL SQL language is when compared to the SQL, because there are some problems inside the database which you can solve easily when compared to PL SQL. But if you try to solve the same problem in SQL, it will take a lot of time for you to resolve the problem. This is the reason, that's the motivation behind this live webinar. And I officially welcome all of you on this webinar. It's an amazing day here in India. Trust me, it's raining outside. I love going to have tea outside. Unfortunately, I am so passionate for this webinar that I am sitting right in my office and loving to take this webinar. I officially welcome all of you and let's start the live webinar. By the way, I would love to say hi to everyone and please respond to me in the chat just saying hi Arun because I can see a lot of your chats over there. And by the way, let me start a conversation with all of you. Hi everyone, Arun this side, and you all are awesome DBAs. Amazing, guys. And we have Prasad Reddy who's asking, can please explain the Oracle SQL versus PL SQL? Prasad, that's the reason we all are here. So let's start our webinar. And I can see we have Joseph joining in from Malaysia. And guys, I would love to see if you can write from which country you have joined in, and I think that will also add more value because I become more excited when I speak to people who are from different country when it comes to people joining in from a different country than India. And I can see Mitesh, you are my friend. I can see Mitesh joining in, and I have Sheikh Salman. Hi, Sheikh Salman, and Saddam Khalid. Amazing, guys. So excited to see all of you. And trust me, I know you all are also excited to understand the difference between Oracle SQL and PL SQL. Hi, Manoj. And let's jump in right into the webinar. So let us start with our first slide. Let me introduce all of you to our platform, that's DBA Genesis. In case if you do not know what exactly is DBA Genesis, or if this is your first interaction with DBA Genesis brand, let me help you. What exactly is DBA Genesis? We as a platform, we kind of like our vision is to help all the DBAs across the globe in order to succeed in their database administration tasks. We focus on providing only database administration related courses and online trainings. That's the reason the website is DBA Genesis. The DBA over there has a core meaning that means database administration, and that's the reason we have this platform where I generally have students almost from across the globe. Of course, most of the complaints that I get from students is the timing factor. Unfortunately, guys, you know what? The biggest problem is when we work on a global network, somebody or other will always have the timing issue. So I have started a small formula where I look for my comfort rather than the student's comfort. I know you can call me selfish, but trust me, that's the best way because see, always somebody in India will have timing issue, or somebody in US might have timing issue, or somebody in Australia might have timing issue, but that's perfectly okay. The main reason is any event that we do, we always record all the sessions. So DBA Genesis is the platform that provides database related courses, online trainings, and we also provide remote DBA support to our clients. We currently have more than 250 clients across the globe where we help them for database related activities. For example, recently we helped one client in Dubai to migrate from physical to AWS cloud, and we have an in-house team that helps DBAs across the globe by providing remote support. All right, that's enough about DBA Genesis brand. Now let me talk about myself. My name is Arun Kumar and I am the founder of DBA Genesis. I almost have 13 plus years of experience, but because we did not end 2019, so I just put 12 plus years of experience. All right. So I have corporate experience where I have handled databases for companies like ADP. I have handled databases for companies like TCS and GE, General Electric. And I should share this with you. I have worked in the environments where I had supported the databases where the size was ranging from few GBs to multi terabyte databases. And I'm personally experienced in Oracle database administration, Oracle RAC, Oracle Golden Gate, and cloud. So, guys, when I say cloud, I use it, I use the word cloud very carefully, because some people say they are good at AWS cloud, some people say they are good at IBM cloud. By the way, if you don't know the IBM cloud, it's IBM Blue Max. Some people say they are good at Microsoft Azure, some people say they are good at Oracle Cloud. Technically, to be very frank with you, being in this database remote DBS support business, what a kind of like I get so many clients that I have to work on multiple clouds. So technically, I can precisely be proud to say that I have good experience in multi-cloud uh, environments. That's about me. And currently, my goal is to uh, create an amazing platform for database administrators across the globe, so that I can help all of them achieve their career goals. Enough about me. And on this call, I would like to heartily welcome Mr. Senthil Kumar. He is our Oracle PL SQL expert who is having 13 plus years of experience as an Oracle PL SQL expert. Welcome, Centel. And what I would do is, rather than me speaking about Centel, I would allow Centel to introduce himself. And I think, Centel, it's your session. After this, after your introduction, you would be leading all our audience from the difference between Oracle SQL versus PL SQL. Centel, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Arun. Good morning, everyone who is on the webinar today. Thank you very much for the brief introduction. So let me introduce myself. So I'm Centel Kumar. So I have 13 plus years of experience in PL SQL as a developer, and I have like 15, 16 years overall experience, right? And I understand most of you are from a DBA background, so I have a very good relationship with DBS because of being a programmer. I call DBS as my brothers because I can't exist without DBS, and it's it's like the a relationship is like the other party cannot exist with the things like that. Okay, so yeah, I'm actually worked on Oracle database for years and years, and worked on SQL, PL SQL, and various other products of Oracle. Okay, so this is a very brief introduction about me. So this webinar or this course, basically helps DBS to grasp and learn, to become a PL SQL programmer. Okay, so let's go to next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah, thanks. So, what is Oracle, right? So Oracle, anybody, if you go and talk to anyone outside, right? So they think that Oracle is a database. Okay, so but it is not. Oracle is the biggest software company in the world. Okay, and the most successful product of Oracle is Oracle database. But nobody calls Oracle database as Oracle database. By Oracle has a by default they think that it is a database. Okay, so that is the primary thing I just want to highlight. But Oracle database is one of the successful products for Oracle. So people think that Oracle means database and Microsoft means operating system or something like that. But each company, they are all companies, and they have lots and lots of products. Okay, and Oracle also have a lot of products. One of the successful product is database, but other than that, they have a Fusion middleware, they have a SOA suite, and forms developer, reports developer, n number of products. Okay, probably you might have used it in your day to day activities. Okay, so this is Oracle, about Oracle and Oracle database. Okay, coming to Oracle SQL. Okay, so as you all know, database is a place where we store some data. Okay, so if we store some data, we need to retrieve and use it. It's like, storing some you're storing your clothes in a wardrobe, right? So you put the clothes in wardrobe, and sometimes you want to take it and wear it, you need to wash it, you need to put it back, you need to iron it. We do a lot of operations, right? Similarly, the data resides in Oracle database, and in the data, right, we are doing a lot of operations, right? Well, they are broadly classified as DDL and DML. So DDL stands for data definition language, and DML stands for data manipulation language. Okay, so data definition is like, creating a data dictionary, and manipulation is like, manipulating data, like creating, updating, deleting or whatever, right? So these are all the things which you do on data in the database using SQL. So when I say SQL, probably you might all know that SQL is a structured query language. So it is the language, or it's a way how you speak with Oracle, right? It is a database, and if you want to speak with the database, you need a language, right? So like we all speak with a common language, English, right? So we need a common language or language to speak with the Oracle, right? So that is a Oracle SQL. Okay, so what is Oracle PL SQL, right? So it is a PL stands for procedural language. Okay, so basically it's an extension to SQL, right? So if you want to enhance the your user experience with Oracle, or you need to do something extra on whatever you are doing today, right? So that is the main focus of the webinar, right? So why we need PL SQL, what is that, and all those things. So we are going to see that here. Okay, so I think by now you have understood the difference between Oracle database, Oracle SQL, and Oracle PL SQL. Okay, so this is a very basic classification. Okay, can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So let's see what is an Oracle SQL. Okay. So being in the DBA community, right? So probably most of you might have used SQL in everyday life. Basically the one thing which I do normally whenever I log into databases, like select name from $, database to ensure which database I'm working. So select star from dual, all those things, like basic queries, like select count of star from table name, which gives the number of rows, right? So all those things are we use SQL in day-to-day life, right? So this is so SQL is a structured query language, right? Which is a standard way to perform CURD operations. So CURD is nothing but create, retrieve, update, and delete, right? So if you have data, you can create the data in the database, you can retrieve the data from the database, you can update the data in the database, and you can delete the data in the database. So these operations are performed by SQL, right? So this is basically this is SQL is common across all the RDBMS. RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. So all RDBMS like Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, right? So the query or the language which we interact with the database will be very, very similar, which follows the standard dictated for SQL. Okay, so in that way it is good. So basically, if I'm using some queries in Oracle, it might not be very difficult for me to use or perform something similar in another database, right? So it's like having a common language across the world, right? So that will be make things lots and lot easier. Yeah, it is basically in one way it is good. SQL has that is the advantage of SQL. It's very common, very similar across the databases, right? We can easily adopt. Okay, And say again, as I mentioned, SQL is industry standard and shares commonality against many relational databases. So these are the pros of cons. But as anything like any product or anything, right? Everything will have its pros and cons, right? So what are the cons of SQL, right? So SQL is like sequence of commands, or commands you write one by one, right? And then basically if you want to do something again and again, you need to report. You have to redo that things again and again, right? Like a cloning of instance, right? Probably I'm just entering into a DBA area, but I don't know much about that area. But I'm just telling an example, right? The first time you might be doing it one by one, but second time you might be be thinking of automating it, right? So something similar, right? If you are doing operations at the first time, some kind of operations in the database, so you might be doing it one by one. But if you want to do it over again and again, right, you might thinking of having some flexibility of making it automated, right? That automation feature is missing. Like the basic things like control structure is like, if condition is this, go do this or something like that. And looping, so basically iterating through the various rows in the table, right? Branching, decision making, right? So I do agree that there are some decision making things like available in SQL, like decode command and all those things, but their usage, or they have their own limitation. Okay. And but if basically, to put in one word, right, it lacks a lot of the features which is available in a programming language, right? Why do we need a programming language, you might ask? Okay, why do I need a programming language? It's just a database, right? Yes, we do need a programming language to interact with the database, because it has a Oracle database or any database has. See, in any IT system, data is like the heartbeat, right? So without data, any system is dummy, right? So all we are doing in any application is interacting with the data, right? So we need to have some kind of programming language for the database as well, to automate various things, or we will see what are the features. But these are the cons of the SQL. Okay. So next slide, please. Okay. So what is PL SQL? Okay. So SQL, we discussed a lot and lot more. So SQL is a powerful tool for any DB, which we will be using for code operations, right? Coming to PL SQL, it's a procedural language for SQL. Okay, let me explain. So SQL is a declarative language, and PL SQL is a procedural language for SQL. Okay, what is a procedural language? So you might have a procedure to do some operations in in any database, like cloning or whatever, right? That will be a procedure, right? So in order to automate things, in order to make it execute in a certain fashion, you need to write the steps, right? Otherwise it's a programming. It is like bringing in the programming feature for the SQL. What is a program, right? It's a sequence of steps executed in order to achieve a particular task. So the sequence of steps need to be built in a form of a program, and then put it in database, so that it gets executed and becomes a PL SQL, right? So that is the PL SQL. So PL SQL is portable and it is a high performance transaction processing language. Okay, so if you write once, you can port from one database to another, and basically can you reuse it any number of times, right? And and it helps for the make things like the transaction processing very very quick, right? Like if you are withdrawing the cash, right? If imagine if somebody is sitting in the background and updating your balance, you will be really, really annoyed, right? You need real time response, right? So in order to do that, we need kind of a database language which sits in database, so and executes it. So basically, ATM machine is somewhere, on the roads or a roadside or in any shop, but the database might be in some other location, right? So those kind of network issues and all those things are there. So if we have the code of the piece of code lies inside the database, and we just give a command and it executes everything for you and gives the result, that will be wonderful, isn't it? So that is the feature of the PL SQL. So it increases performance, it increases productivity, it increases portability, it increases security, right? Okay, coming to OOP support. So I already told that, so it is like, program for a PL SQL. It is converting a SQL into a programming language. So when you come to a programming language, there are various standards, which will make a programming language successful. Like, C, the major difference between a C and C++ is, C++ is an object-oriented programming language, whereas C is not, So basically, it is adhering to the standards, right? Luckily, PL SQL is supporting OOPS. So what is OOPS? Object-oriented programming. So what is object-oriented programming? So they have defined a standard, right? If it is a programming language, it should do all these things. So that support is definitely there in the PL SQL. Well, some of the OOPS concepts are like reusing it, inheriting it, right? So all those things are, security is one of the thing, and all those things are features of object-oriented programming, and all those features are available in PL SQL. Okay, so it has inbuilt access to the inbuilt packages. So like dbs underscore package is utl underscore. So you write it in as a package and you ship it with the database. It is readily available for the guys to use it. Okay, so and you can actually develop a web application with mod PL SQL, right? There is a feature to that. Basically, when you say Oracle, when you take any application, right, we call it as front end and back end, right? Oracle actually sits in the back end because it never interacts directly with the user. It's a database, right? So that is why it is called backend, right? So, but we can, or PL SQL has the capability to create pages and interact with the front end. So that is mod PL SQL. So if somebody is from Microsoft SQL Server, it is something similar called T SQL. Transact SQL is available in that world. So PL SQL is only for Oracle. It's a proprietary language by Oracle database only. It doesn't work anywhere, unlike SQL, which is a common standard. So I will tell you one simple example for a PL SQL which we daily use in our SQL. So select count of star from some table name. Okay, that count is actually internally it is a function, PL SQL function, right? So likewise, the sum, the average, and the things like to care, due date, all those things which we use in SQL statement are internally PL SQL functions. Okay, so this knowingly or unknowingly we are using PL SQL, even if you are DBS, even if you are SQL experts, right? Without even knowing that we are using a lot of things in PL SQL in today's world. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, what you can do with PL SQL and what not with SQL, right? So you might ask, okay, I can do pretty much whatever I want in SQL. Why should I learn PL SQL? What's special? What is magic? Because it's all the database, right? And I have access to database. I know how to talk to database. Why do I need PL SQL? Okay, let me explain, right? So let's have let's talk about a common requirement, right? Change the designation and salary for promoted employees. This is a real world scenario, right? So in any organization, I'll get promoted, you will get promoted, right? So one of the main objective of promotion is like, two things. My designation will change, my salary will change, right? Exciting, Okay. How to do that, right? So doing before moving on to how to do that, so let me give some details. So the let's assume that in the database, the employee details are stored in employees table. The table name is called employees, and the salary details are stored in a table called salary. Okay, so these are the tables which hold the information. Obviously, we need to retrieve the data for an employee who is promoted, and then we need to update the data into the tables. So these are the operations. Ideally, from a database point of view, we are going to do it, right? Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so I don't know PL SQL. Okay, I know only SQL. How do I do? Okay, so these are the steps I'll be doing it, right? Select employee ID from employee. Employees is the table name where employee number is R123. Okay, so I'm the employee of the organization. My employee number is R123, and as you might all know, we might have always a unique ID internally for every table. Based on this, we will be creating indexes. So that is the primary key of the any table, right? So that will be referenced in across the tables as a foreign key. These are all again RDBMS concepts, right? Primary key references, foreign key references, right? So what I'll do, okay? So first of all, I need to get the employee ID with the employee number. You can actually query it by employee name as well, but you might get duplicates because there might be two Arun Kumars in an organization, right? So employee number will be unique in that case, right? So what I do is I run this query: select EMP ID from employees where employee number equal to R123. Okay, this will return only one row. Okay, and I'll make a note of employee ID. Let's assume that it is 1234. Okay, so I'll keep in mind this 1234. Employee ID of R123 is 1234. Okay, so now I got the employee ID, right? If I wish, I can see all the details. Select start from employees where employee number or 123. But I'm not interested in that now, but I'm interested only in getting the employee ID. Okay, so second thing, interesting factor, right? I need to increase the salary. So if I'm promoted, my management has decided to give 5% increase in my salary. So I'm updating the salary table, right? So update salary. Salary is the table name. Again, setting salary. Salary is the column name. Okay, here. So salary equal to salary plus current salary plus salary into 5%. So my salary will get updated 5% extra. Where, so you can't blindly do that. It will update for all the employees where employee ID equal to :1. So :1 is the number which I have in the mind. So I have to substitute it here. In this case, in our case, it is 1234. So when I do this command, update salary, set salary equal to salary into some 5%, and then where employee ID equal to 1234, it updates the record for that particular employee, right? So out of two tasks, one task is done. So updating salary is done, okay? And updating employee table. Why do you need to update the employee table? Because my designation is also changed from manager to senior manager. Wow, that's interesting, right? So how do I do that? So update employees, which is the table name, and set designation is the column name. Set designation equal to senior manager, right? Where employee ID equal to 1234. Okay, so once you execute the command, it will say one row updated, right? And then finally, as we all know, we need to commit the data, otherwise it will not be reflecting, right? So we will issue a commit, right? So this is how we do it in SQL, right? So we select the employee, we update two records, two tables, two records, and then commit. So basically, we are doing it for we are performing 4 steps to update a salary and designation for one employee. Okay, so this is how I'll be doing it for an employee. using SQL. Imagine an organization have 10,000 employees, and 5,000 employees got promoted, right? And that is not one time activity. The promotion will happen every now and then, right? Yeah, probably every 6 months, every 1 year, right? It could happen. So if that is the case, you need to repeat all the steps again and again, right? The first few times will be exciting. After that, it gets bored, right? Okay. So let's see how we will be doing it in a PL SQL. Next slide, please. Okay. So in PL SQL, right, it is a two-step process, right? First, I'm going to write a procedure, okay, to automate the 4 steps which I have mentioned in the previous slide. So basically, PL SQL is nothing but writing in Windows world. It is like writing a batch file, and in Unix world, it is writing a shell script, right? So, but batch file and shell script are looks Greek and Latin for everyone, because you need to learn the commands first. You need to memorize it, and you need to do that. But PL SQL is not like that. It is if you know English, you can read PL SQL as simple as that. It is pretty much in English. Everything is in English, right? Okay, let's write a procedure. Step one is to write a procedure. Okay, so I'm writing a procedure, so I'm giving a name, procedure. Okay, so what is this procedure? From promotion. Okay, so on every promotion you need to run this procedure. Okay, what are the variables it is going to take as a parameter? Okay, there are 3 parameters: employee number, it is an in parameter, right? So basically, sorry, when I say parameter, you will be giving some values and you will be getting back some values, right? In this case, we are not getting back anything, right? We are just updating by giving the employee details, right? So this has only 3 input parameters. So employee number, emp num, in is stands for in. So in means you are giving it as an input for the procedure. And what is the data type? It is a varchar 2. Okay, so these are the things you are giving for the first variable. Second one is DESD, which stands for designation, right? Which is again input parameter. We are saying in, and then varchar 2 is again data type. So the employee number and the designation is a variable character, right? So we are saying it as a varchar 2. And then finally the increment part, which will be number for sure, right? It can be variables. It can be in alphanumeric. So increment, and it says in, again it is an input parameter, and then the third one is a data type, which is a number. Okay, so the procedure promotion, which takes 3 parameters, is as follows. Okay, this is syntax. Okay, b underscore emp id is number. Okay, so this is the temporary variable. We are declaring it to store the employee id. Remember, when you run as a SQL, right, that 1 2 3 4, the employee id, we used to remember in our mind, right? So here we are putting it in a local variable. Okay, so that we will not bother about remembering it, right? So in order to place it in a local variable, we are declaring it first. So that is where it is coming. This section is called declaration section. So first procedure is naming section, and then declaring the variables. And then if you look at that, begin. Okay, what to do? Begin is like beginning of the operation. Okay, and then it is pretty much similar to the first SQL which we ran in the SQL, right? Select emp id into. Okay, into is a new one, right? So you are selecting the employee id and storing into v employee id. V employee id is nothing but the local variable which we just declared. Okay, so other things are very similar. So select EMP ID into VEMP ID, right? So we are getting from the table and storing it in the local variable. Okay. So first command is pretty much similar. Only extra what we are saying is you are putting into. Okay. So you are storing it somewhere locally. Okay. And then second command or the SQL statement is very similar or almost same. Instead of that bind variable :1, right, we are using EMP ID where we stored it locally, right? So update salary, set salary equal to salary plus 5%, right? So again, so sorry, I mentioned that increment part, okay? The 5% is coming from increment. Where is that increment coming from? It is coming from the very first line where we have the parameters, right? The third parameter is increment. Similarly, in the first SQL, select employee ID, right? Where employee number is EMP num, which is again coming from the parameter. So procedures parameter, there's 3 parameters. So we are substituting the first parameter in the first SQL query, third parameter in the second SQL query, and substituting the local variables instead of entering it manually. Okay, so update second statement is pretty much similar to what we used to do in SQL way, but we are substituting the local variable. Third SQL statement is updating employees and set designation to senior manager. Again, designation is a variable coming from the procedure, right? That is the second parameter, if you remember, right? And where EMP ID equal to VEMP ID. So VEMP ID is the local variable. And then finally you are doing commit, right? So begin, do all the activities, all the steps, right? And then you commit. So this is what the language says, right? And then exception. Okay, so in any case, we might have an exception, right? Any programming language should handle errors and exception, right? So in the exception log, we are saying when others, right? That is the default exception. We'll get to see what are the different types of exceptions, everything when we actually go into the course details. But this is just an example, right? So when others, so when something happened, some unexpected error happened, okay, then DBMS output print line error. So basically it is saying that, error. Okay. And then end. What are we ending? The promotion. The promotion is a procedure. So we created a procedure with 3 in parameter. To summarize, I'm just summarizing it. We created a procedure with 3 in parameters, and we declared 1 local variable. We started the procedure by giving begin keyword. We put in all the 4 steps which we did in the SQL way before, with little modifications, right? And then we said, in case of exception, do something. This is an exception block. And then finally we put an end. Okay, this is it. Okay, this is done. So this is going to be a one-time activity, right? So you write it, you compile it in the database and leave it there, right? So this is a one-time activity. You just write and leave it, compile it and leave it there. That stays forever until you go and delete it. Okay. So this is the step 1 in a PL SQL. Okay. Right. You might think that it is a little more complicated. Okay. But right. The promotion is nothing but the package procedure which we wrote before, right? And you're passing 3 input parameters. R123 is the employee number, senior manager is a designation, 5 is the percentage of salary increment. Okay, so the activity which we done in SQL is pretty much completed in one simple command, right? And if you want to do it over again and again, you just need to change the parameter, as simple as that, right? So you invested a lot in writing the procedure, which I understand, but that is one-time activity, and that is forever, right? It stays till you delete it, right? Even if every 6 months they run it, every 1 year they run it. How many they can run for 100 employees, 1,000 employees, it is going to be a fairly straightforward execution rather than doing 4 commands for one employee every time. It is one time activity, but it is worth it. Yeah. So this is how we do something in PL SQL. Next slide, please. Okay. What are the features of PL SQL? Okay. So PL SQL is nothing but SQL plus lot more. Okay. What are you might have? What is that lot more? Okay. So we are making it as a program. Okay. So program is specific set of ordered operations for a computer to perform. So as we saw in the similar example before, right? We need for if promotion happens to an employee, we need to perform set of operations, right? So if we make that as a program, right, which with our set of operations, we can execute whenever we want. That is what we exactly did, right? The first time it was tough, I understand, right? But after that, it is all simple, right? It was worth it. And then block structures. Okay, the one which we wrote is a very simple program like hello world. Okay, but none of the real times are as simple as hello world, right? So we need to have complex logics, complex things, business logic, validations, and all those things, right? So in order to do that, right, we might have to modularize our program. We need to have a piece of code for routines. We generally call as routines, right? We just write a routine, and we might need to call different routines based on different conditions, right? So we these features are available in PL SQL. Basically the blocks, you're writing it as a blocks. Okay. Procedural language capability. Okay, it consists of procedural language construct like condition statement, if else statements, for loops, right? So if it is like condition based statements, right? So we can use if else statement, and if you want to do a bulk update on a table or something like that, right, you might have to iterate it one by one, and then you have to do update on each row, right? So those kind of things we can use looping, for loop, while loop, and all those things. So that is giving the programming language capability. Better performance. Okay, PL SQL engine. Okay, so we call that as an engine, right? So basically the program is called as an engine, high word. Process multiple SQL statements at the same time as one block, thereby reducing the network traffic. So as I said, instead of executing 4 different commands previously, we just execute one command. Basically that increases the reduces the network traffic. Okay, error handling. So there is a way to handle the errors. So basically, if we are doing it as SQL, right, if there are multiple rows, then it needs human intervention, right, to see what went wrong and all those things. But if you are trying to automate it, right, so we need to have an error handling mechanism to what happens if there is no row, what happens if there are multiple rows, what happens if there is unexpected error or something like that. So those capabilities are definitely present in PL SQL, right? So basically, PL SQL is SQL plus lot more, which is like all the concepts of the program. Okay, so that is the PL SQL. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so what else we got? So we can write a procedure and or a function, and then we can embed to the SQL. So like in day-to-day activities, we are using select count of stars, select average, sum, substring, length, to char, to date, right? These are all functions, as I said, right? These are all PL SQL functions. Okay, so we can embed in complex in SQL, by then avoiding complex SQL queries. Yeah. And it has advanced concept like functions, packages, procedures, triggers, etc. Right? So these are all the part of PL SQL, right? So basically, as you all know, function is a typical example of function is a count or sum or length, substring, etc. And packages, procedures are nothing but the subroutines, and triggers are nothing but, basically whenever something happens at the data table level, you can, do some action about it, right? So that is all triggers. So all these advanced concepts are supported by PL SQL, right? So it can be scheduled to run in the background. So basically, rather than, a person manually logging into database and doing some operations, you can schedule it. You can ask them to run in background. We can do that. We have DBMS scheduler to do that, and can send email alerts. So basically, if you want to send a congratulations message for a user who is getting promoted, we can send email alerts, right? And we can transfer. So basically, the database, right? Database is a source of data, but most of the time we need to extract the data into a file and send it to other systems or other parties. We might create some reports, right? So those things can be done. So we can extract the data and transfer the file to SFTP or something else. We can actually extract the data in XML format, CSV format using PL SQL, right? That is not possible with SQL, right? And so basically, it's like stitching SQL statements into a program, and you are automating it. So that is all. That is the main feature of the PL SQL. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, let me go through some of the key differences between SQL and PL SQL. So first one is, it is a database structured query language. So basically SQL is nothing but, the language which we talk to database. So basically the data, we will be querying the data in a structured manner, right? So that is the SQL. What is PL SQL? It is a database programming language. Okay. So it is a programming language which is using SQL. So basically it's like, it is a SQL, but it's like SQL plus plus, C and C plus plus, right? So it is like SQL and SQL plus plus, right? So introducing programming concepts in the SQL, right? Data variable is not, second difference is data variable is not available. So in the example which I showed you previously, right? So we are actually, memorizing the employee ID, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we were substituting in the further queries, right? So that feature is not available. We have to hold in our memory, but in PL SQL, data variable is available. Okay. Third difference, no support for control structures. So as I said, for loops, if loops, all the conditional based things are not available in SQL, but it is definitely available in PL SQL, like for loop, while loop, all those things. So query, SQL query performs single operation. So at a given point of time, it can do only one operation, right? But PL SQL performs group operation in a single block. So it can do a group of operations in a single block. As we saw, we wrote a procedure called promotion, which was doing 4 different SQL execution at the same time, isn't it? SQL is a declarative language. PL SQL is a procedural language. So SQL is a declarative, which means that you can do one activity at a time, and PL SQL is a procedural language, which means that it can it can dictate things in to do procedures one by one. Yeah. And so SQL can be embedded in PL SQL. PL SQL can be embedded in SQL. It's not a difference, but it is a complement to each other. So basically, SQLs can have PL SQL. So basically, as I mentioned, count, average, sum are all PL SQL functions, which is integrated into SQL. And similarly, PL SQL can be embedded in SQL. So basically, PL SQL is nothing but a combination of SQL, right? And so it is a direct interaction with the database. SQL, you need to log in into database and then do the operations, right? But PL SQL, you don't need to be logged into database because it resides in the database and it can exist on its own. It can run on its own. No need of any manual intervention. Okay, so data oriented language. So it basically SQL is like more of dealing with the data, right? So one particular task, one particular data we'll be dealing at one point of time. But PL SQL is an application oriented language. So it is a routine which we are writing and leaving it in the database. Any application can call that and execute it. Okay, so SQL is used to write, the last difference is SQL is to write queries, DDLs and DMLs, right? Query, as you all know, any select statement is a query. DDL is a data definition language. Any create statements or data definition language, and DML is like the operations update and merge and all those things, right? So those are data manipulation languages, right? So that is the maximum SQL can do, and PL SQL can do much more than that. Basically writing program logs, functions, procedures, triggers, packages, etc. So these are the main differences between SQL and PL SQL. Next slide, please. Okay, so what are the limitations of SQL? So basically, you can't create an application with just SQL, right? You can't write any procedures, store procedures, nothing but the promotion which we the one which we wrote, right? That is a stored procedure. We can't do anything with SQL. We can't write any triggers. We can't do any conditional logics. Of course, I do agree that we can use to certain extent using decode statements, but or NVL null, what happens if it is null and all those things. But those are all internally. It's a PL SQL, but it has much limited flexibility. Yeah, and you can actually call other applications, other programs like Java programs, and you can call SOA, BPL routines and all those things, right? And you can actually send emails, you can schedule jobs, and these are the features of PL SQL which is not in SQL. So basically, it's you can either call it as PL SQL features or the limitations of SQL. Okay, so these are the advantages if you take this course, right? So you might end up in doing all these things, and again, this is all from the language which which is SQL. Yeah. Next slide, please. Okay, let's come to the important slide. Okay, what am I going to achieve by learning PL SQL? Okay, so this is more like a FAQ, right? Is it good to start with career with Oracle PL SQL? Yes, why not? So if you look at the market share of Oracle database, right, it has pretty much 50% market share, which means that in the whole world, 50% of application is running on Oracle database. No matter whatever comes in, like a lot of other things came in, like um, big data or whatever they name it, right? Microsoft SQL Server, database, DB or DB2 or whatever, right? It still holds 50% market share, right? So out of, if Oracle database has so much of share, Oracle programmers will be in demand at any point of time. This is evergreen. Okay, so if you know Oracle database administration, if you know Oracle SQL, if you know PL SQL, wonderful. It is like everything is complement to each other. Yeah. So that, yeah, it is good to start career with Oracle PL SQL. Yes, 100% yes, no doubt on it. Right? Is PL SQL tough to learn? No, not at all. We just wrote a procedure called a promotion. Did you see any complication in that? It's plain English, right? It is not like C, it is not like Java, it's not like any shell script or Python or whatever. It's plain English, right? It is very, very simple. It's easy to learn, and you don't need to memorize any command, memorize any syntax, because SQL, right? Which is which is the basic need for PL SQL. And if you know SQL and in English, right, you're done. You know PL SQL. Yeah, as simple as that. Is PL SQL dead? No, definitely. I do agree that it is not open source. It is not, basically it's basically people claim that we are moving towards open source. We are moving towards this, that, and all those things. But yeah, Oracle. It is Oracle proprietary, right? But it is still holding 50% of our market share. Yeah. So as long as Oracle database is there, PL SQL will not die. As simple as that. Right? Career scope for PL SQL developers, right? So being a database administrator, right? You are more of into an administration, right? So this would be your first step to enhance your career as a developer, right? So from an administrator, if you're going to a developer, you just need to learn a programming language, right? That is the first step. And if the programming language you are trying to learn is English and SQL, right? Why not, right? So you know English, you know PL SQL, and that is it. That is PL SQL, and PL SQL is a programming language. And once you learn that, you can call yourself as a programmer, right? So that is the first step towards a PL SQL developer, and you can call yourself as programmer from an administrator or administrator come programmer. Yeah. And what else I can do? So basically, as I said, any for any application or any organization, data is like the heartbeat, right? So with the data, you will be performing lot of operations, right? You might analyze the data, you might be doing some data warehousing, you might be doing extracting the data and putting into some other system, you might be doing some reporting, right? Everything needs PL SQL. Everything needs PL SQL. As long as you interact with the database, you need PL SQL. Yeah. So there is a great scope for PL SQL developers. Yeah. And again, any application built on Oracle database needs a PL SQL developer, whether it is any Oracle ERP or any ERP or any custom homegrown application, no matter what, any job-based application, any whatever language, right? If your database is Oracle, if the organization buys Oracle database, there is definitely a need for a PL SQL developer. That is very black and white. Yeah. So you got a lot of chances, lot of scope being a PL SQL developer. Next slide, please. Okay. Uh, Coming to the certification part, once you complete the course and you learn PL SQL, you can write these certifications provided by Oracle or any organization. So these are the two certifications. OCP, Oracle Certified Professionals. Well, basically Oracle conducts some exams, and it gives certificate based on your preparation and giving exams, right? So these two are the exams with codes, right, which are related to PL SQL. So you can write these exams and call yourself as Oracle Certified Professionals in PL SQL. Yeah. So these are available in Oracle. You can go to education.oracle.com and you can Google it, right? And on top of that, a lot of other third-party organizations also giving some certifications. But these are the ones which Oracle gives from Oracle University. Next slide, please. Oh, that's it. We are done. Any questions, you can post it, and I'm happy to answer.
Awesome, Centel. That was amazing. And trust me, I think you have given an amazing overview on PLSQL. All right, so this is Q&A time, and I can see there are a lot of questions like people asked in the chat. So we will be going through each and every question one by one, and I'll quickly start reading the questions. So Senthil, you can jump in wherever it is required. And so let us start with the first question that we have. All right, so let me look at the questions. Okay, so we have a question where the user is saying how to remove bad bind variable. Senthil, do you have to add something to this question?
Yeah, so basically bad bind variable comes, when you pass some wrong parameters. So, we wrote a procedure, right? For something like the promotion where it takes three parameters: employee number, designation, and the percentage, right? So two of them are, alphanumeric and one is number, right? And when we executed it, we gave the parameters in the right order. So basically, first two is R123, which is employee number. Second is senior manager, which is a designation. Third is number 5, which is a number, which is the salary increment percentage. But if you interchange the variables for some reason, right? So that is where these kind of problems come. So basically, data type mismatch and all those things. So this is where it comes into picture that can be easily eliminated.
Amazing, Senthil. Thanks for answering the question. Now, let me read out the other questions. Okay, so can please explain the Oracle SQL versus PL SQL? I guess that's the webinar, and hopefully, I know that Senthil was able to justify the webinar. So let's move on. And all right. So we have some questions, Senthil, which are mostly technical. I think if we get into answering these kind of questions, because one question involves working with bind variables. So unfortunately, guys, don't mind. We won't be able to get into the technical questions answering because it will prolong the webinar. So mostly, I would want to keep the webinar precisely towards the main topic. That's the difference between SQL and PLSQL. So we have one question, but PLSQL developer posts are very less, and most of them asking for experience. Senthil, can you add something to this question?
See, people prefer experienced people. I do agree that, but nobody comes with an experience. Everybody, comes. Everyone came as a fresher one point of time, right? So it's not that anyone can come with just like 2 years or 3 years experience, right? Everybody has started their career as a fresher, right? So we need to wait for the opportunity, and we need to keep on trying it. And there are posts or jobs which will be specifically looking for junior developers, or basically kind of junior roles, right? In those roles you can definitely apply. So basically, roles like with 2 years of there will be some roles which will be, they'll be asking for 1 to 2 years of experience and all those kind of things. Because we all, if you have from a DBA background, if you know a SQL, and if you go through the training program, you can easily write a program, and that kind of jobs to begin with, right? If you don't have experience, right, you can easily apply for jobs like that, which will definitely you will have more confidence in securing the job, right? Because SQL, and you have seen how easy is PL SQL, right? And you're going to do the task which you already know, and you need to have a confidence that you will be able to do it. That is it, right? So yeah, I think that is a, I won't say that is a limitation, but you need to wait for the right opportunity.
Amazing, Senthil. So we have next question, and this is like job opportunity for junior Oracle DBA. Please explain, guys. Of course, I can 100% understand there might be a lot of fresher DBAs on this call, and trust me, guys, now I'm talking to you by from an experience where, let's take, if I am taking an interview for my own company or my own team, what all things I'll look in a junior DBA or maybe a fresher DBA. Trust me, it's not important that the junior DBA should know everything because it's highly impossible. The Oracle DBA career, or maybe an Oracle developer career, or any career, by the way, it's hard for you to learn everything, go crack an interview, and get the job. It's not possible. But there are some traits that we look into a junior DBA or anyone for any job opportunity when we are hiring freshers. The I'll only talk about the one important thing that is required is your attitude towards learning new things. See, guys, understand this factor. We, or maybe any organization which is about to give you a job offer, they want their organization to grow. In this case, they want people in their organization who are good at self learning, who can constantly evolve themselves by learning new things. So, the attitude towards learning is one of the most critical skills that I look forward before hiring a junior DBA. So, in your next job interview, whether it is for junior DBA or maybe a senior DBA, you make sure you are giving hints to the interviewer saying your inclination towards learning new things. And I bet with this just one trait, you would definitely be in the shortlisted list of the interviewer. And from there on, definitely you might secure a good chance to get the job. The other part of securing a job is definitely Oracle certifications. If you know me personally or maybe have attended any of my trainings in the past, you all know that I'm not a fan of Oracle certification. Of course, I'm also an Oracle certified expert, but still, I say this bluntly because most of the times, I mean, this is my personal experience. Certification does not define that somebody is a good DBA. But as a junior DBA, if you are going for a job interview, it adds more value to your resume and it gives more weightage to your resume in order to secure the job. So, two important things that I can tell or suggest you to get a job as a junior DBA is number one, show an attitude towards learning new things. And the second one is have some Oracle certification in your hand that will add more weightage to your resume. All right. So the next question is, please, sir, tell me what should I know before joining a company on DBA post. I also complete Oracle course, but what a company needs. All right. What a company needs, I don't know. See, guys, once again, I will reiterate like my last answer or the previous answer. Uh, Nobody, if you look at a job description of an Oracle DBA, trust me, you will never find a person who knows everything that is written in a job description because companies' expectations are going skyrocket. Company wants that you should know everything. You should know cloud, you should know Golden Gate, you should know rack, you should know Exadata, you should know Oracle database. Trust me, it's not possible. And in case if there is a person who knows all these technologies, definitely I know people who know all these technologies. It's hard for the companies to hire them on the kind of packages they demand. All right. So a company actually needs a DBA who is pretty much able to understand their environment and can handle their environment. Now, one tip I want to give in this regard, whenever you are trying to apply for a job as a DBA, what you do is try to get in touch with the friends who are working in the same company and try to get to know their environment as to what kind of environment they have, what type of databases they deal, what type of clients the company is having, what is their work environment, and then when you position your answers based on those details, you are uh, highly creating more chances for the job opportunity. I'll give you one example. If you are from banking industry and if you are going into manufacturing industry, let's take there is an opening in a company that deals with manufacturing industry and they have Oracle database. So you are moving from banking industry to manufacturing industry, right? So what you do is do your groundwork. Try to understand how manufacturing applications are and how they work. And from there, you, in case if you get a friend who's working in the same company, you might get more details how a manufacturing industry works. Get a background of the manufacturing industry, and when you try to portray your experience, it's always better to add those new details that you have learned. So, to be very frank on this, I'm not sure if this question is like how to find a DBA job. Maybe if that's the exact question, trust me, we have a blog post on support.dbagenesis.com where you can read about how to find DBA jobs. And in case if I understood the question correctly, like how do you join a company if you're changing from one industry to another industry, then I always recommend you do your background work and then only get into the company. All right. So the next question that we have is how much time it takes to migrate all DBA projects to 18C via automation. Now, see, guys, the time it takes to migrate, I'm not sure if this question is to upgrade, but if it is regarding the migration, it depends from which OS to which OS you are migrating, and then the amount of data you are migrating. So it is dependent on the number of databases, size of the databases, from which platform to which platform, what is your network bandwidth. So this question I right away cannot answer, to be very frank, until unless I know all the details. Next question. As an Oracle DBA, which side we should go for career growth in cloud? All right. So, as an Oracle DBA, I'll only talk about the one very important skill that you should know when it comes to cloud is how do you migrate the databases from physical to cloud? Because those are the kind of remote DBA supports projects that our company takes, and we are helping most of the companies to migrate from physical to cloud. So the migration is what you need to focus on at this stage. And to be very frank with you guys, cloud is not yet 100% stable. Like, we can't say that this is the only thing you will be doing. So one important thing when it comes to cloud is focus on how do you migrate from on premises to cloud. Second is, and this is very important, trust me, whatever your experience is, this is important for everyone on this webinar. Understand this. Focus on the business needs in the world. What I mean by that, see, if you look at business requirements, one of the biggest business requirement is database replication. So whether your database is on premises or whether it is in cloud, data replication will always be a challenge for a business. So you as a DBA, focus on becoming an Oracle Golden Gate expert. That way you are securing yourself for at least 7 to 10 years of your career. Your resume will be in demand. So rather than cloud, and guys, this is, I mean, from the bottom of my heart, and you can literally take this suggestion seriously. Focus on becoming an Golden Gate expert. Try to be someone who knows how to set up replication on premises, on the cloud, and your resume will be in demand for at least next 5 to 7 years. So focus on what business needs or what is required by a business to sustain in the competitive market. That way you as a DBA will always be in demand. All right. So one suggestion for your career when it comes to cloud, just try to learn one thing in cloud is the migration from physical to cloud. But if you want to give mileage to your Oracle DBA career, focus on Oracle Golden Gate. That's the future. And Senthil, do you want to add or say something about the replication needs, because you have seen multiple environments as a developer. What do you think is the demand of data replication?
Yeah, definitely. So basically, any organization, right? So as I said, um, replication is from more from an administrator point of view. They definitely want to secure the data. Data is like the lifeline of any organization, right? They are more concerned about the data, right? So without data, the organization is dead, right? So, and the data is sensitive information. If you take the any organization, they might have customer data, they might have critical data, which they don't want to share, or they don't want to lose, or they don't want kind of any kind of hack or something like that. So yes, definitely data replication and data security is one of the you know evergreen evergreen or non-dying technology or non-dying requirement in any business.
Awesome,
Yeah.
Senthil. Thanks for adding those amazing points. So we have next question: which additional skills need to adopt as an Oracle DBA? So as we mentioned, focus on Oracle Golden Gate, because if I am given a chance to give you only one technology to learn, compared to all the technologies that Oracle has. For example, Oracle RAC, Oracle Exadata, Oracle Cloud, AWS Cloud, including all these technologies, the only technology that will be winning the game is Oracle Golden Gate. Focus on it for next probably maybe you can learn actually Golden Gate within like 3-4 weeks. It's not that complex, but once you learn how to replicate the data from one database vendor to the other database vendor, that is pure gold. If you know how to set up replication from MySQL to Oracle, that is gold. If you know how to set up replication between Oracle to MySQL, that is real gold over there. You will always shine for at least next 5 to 7 years. You have in demand skills right out there. Amazing. Okay, we have a silly question, Senthil, and I would like you to answer this one. The question is it possible to install PL SQL in our laptop for learning? So, Senthil, you take the question.
No, there is nothing to install. So basically, if you have Oracle database and if you are able to run the SQL commands, that is it. You don't need anything to install or something like that. But yeah, there are developer tools, right? Which like the Toad is a very common tool, and like SQL Developer is a free tool provided by Oracle. So those are the tools which you can do with. You can deal with writing the code, but plain Notepad is more than enough to write a PL SQL code. To be honest, it's pretty much like Java. Java doesn't need any tool, but tools have its own features and all those things. But it's not necessary that you have to have a tool. You need to install it. You need to learn the tool. No, right? You can write in plain Notepad and run it in the database SQL Star Plus. Yeah, that is as simple as that. Yeah.
Awesome, Senthil. Thanks for the question. Uh, all right. So just to add, guys, it's like in case if you install the Oracle database, when you connect to the database, you write PLSQL. It's a procedural language. All right. So you write the PLSQL blocks and interact with the database. So just to conclude your question, you need to first learn how to install the database. All right. Okay. So let's move on. Thank you, Senthil. Will you be making this video available for us to watch again? 100%. This video will be available on YouTube and you all will be able to watch. After the session, we will be sending you a link and one email to everyone so that you can definitely watch this video again. All right. Thanks for the session, which is very good to gain knowledge on PLSQL. All right. Can we automate DBA tasks with the help of PLSQL? Guys, understand this. Of course, let me put my points, and then I would definitely allow Centel to speak in. PLSQL is something that you work inside the database. All right. So if you talk about database DBA tasks, sorry, DBA tasks. So all the DBA tasks are outside the database. When we say outside the database, like taking backups, setting up a standby server, putting your database in different modes, upgrading your database, migrating your database. So you are not working inside the database with the data. You generally work outside the database. So if you want to automate DBA tasks which are outside the database, then definitely you will have to use maybe Linux scripting if your database is on Linux, or maybe sometimes you can use other scheduler like Oracle scheduler to automate most of the tasks. Now, when it comes to inside the database, I would take help of Centel. Centel, what do you think? Like, what can be automated? I'm talking in terms of Oracle DBA with the help of PLSQL that can simplify their life.
Yeah, well, so you explained it well, Arun. So basically, outside the data, whatever you said is okay, but inside the data, right? So something like, something needs to be taken care of. Say for example, if you're cloning an instance, right? So you might need to run some SQL. So basically, when you clone from a production system to develop an instance, okay, so there might be a requirement to mask the data. There might be a requirement to update the emails with some junk emails or invalid emails, because in the test instance, somebody might not be wanting you to expose the real data. They, if you run some program, it might send out email if the valid email is present over there. So that kind of masking, those kind of activities, like data masking activities, data manipulation activities, which is not related to business, but it is like part of an infrastructure, can be dealt with PL SQL. Okay, so those kind of activities definitely you can automate, right? So for example, if there are some in any test instance, there will be some dummy users with dummy responsibilities and all those things, right? So you might end up creating some dummy users, dummy responsibilities in backend. Yeah, so those things you can automate rather than doing it every time as a post clone step. Yeah, so those kind of things you can definitely automate.
All right. Thanks, Sendil, for the answer. And let us move on to the next question that we have. Okay, thanks for this session. Please, what do you think of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, that's OCI, in terms of future demand? Do you have video lectures on data migration to cloud? All right. So, guys, because this is not a cloud webinar, so I'll try to keep the answer as short as possible. The changes in the cloud is keeping everyone skeptical about what might happen. As I mentioned, again, I would definitely want to reiterate, forget about cloud. You focus only on data replication. That is the future demand. It is the demand of a business. So my personal bet would be to focus on Oracle Golden Gate. Now, let me give you one insight when it comes to cloud. Guys, when it comes to Oracle Cloud, it is highly secure. When I say highly secure, that means even Oracle Cloud engineers cannot see your data, which is hosted on their own cloud. Now, this adds more advantage when it comes to Oracle Cloud infrastructure. That's the reason I'm not saying like even AWS engineers can watch your data. Definitely, because once Oracle rolled out this feature bluntly, when they came out in the market saying like our cloud is so secure that our own cloud engineers cannot see your data, that's when AWS and other cloud vendors had to change the security and increase the security so that even their own cloud engineers cannot see your data. So that's one reason I would definitely favor Oracle Cloud over other clouds. Now, guys, choosing the cloud for the requirement is completely different because it depends on the requirements. For example, if it is highly sensitive data, I would recommend Oracle Cloud for the customer. If it's an online transaction processing where the speed is more important, then I would recommend IBM Blue Max. And if let's take it's a normal database, a small application database, then I would recommend AWS. So it depends, like based on the client's requirement, we recommend the cloud that they should go. So, to answer your question regarding the future demands, to be very frank, we can't uh, put a pinpoint today saying like this will be future demand. All right, so let's move on. Where is DBA Genesis located in the United States? So we are right now not available in US. We are based out of India, Hyderabad. That's where our headquarters is, and hopefully, if possible, we would definitely want to expand to US as well. All right, and the next question is, are classes offer in person or online only? We have both. Like in case if you want to go for any courses with DBA Genesis, we have pre-recorded courses on our website which you can purchase and watch the video immediately. And in case you have a training request, a personal request, you can always raise a request. Our team can fulfill your request, whatever it is. So we also provide custom one-to-one online trainings. Amazing. So next question. Thanks for sharing the link to watch the webinar. Don't worry, we'll be sharing the link with everyone. And let's assume if you want to watch this webinar again, if you don't know how to watch or where the link is, you can always go to DBA Genesis YouTube channel, and I think this video will be 100% available over there. Okay, Suryakant, my friend, thanks for that amazing message. And this will be the last question, and then we have a couple more slides before we conclude our session, because there is an amazing announcement for all of you who are watching this live webinar. So the last question is, do DBA Genesis have courses on database migration and performance tuning? We do not have courses right now, like I'm saying, pre-recorded courses. But in case you want to go for one-on-one training, you can always go to dbagenesis.com and request your training. Don't worry, in some time I'll be showing you how you can raise a request and how can you send your custom request for the training to DBA Genesis so that we can help you set up the training. Awesome, guys. I think we'll stop the Q&A right now. And in case if you have any questions, you can always send it to support@dbagenesis.com. And now let me conclude this live webinar. We have a couple more slides and then we will wind up this live webinar. Moving on. All right, so this is one gift for everyone who is on this live webinar. We are launching Oracle PL SQL online training, and guess what? Centel will be your online trainer. This training is custom made because Centel comes from 13 plus years of PL SQL developer experience, which is marvelous. Understand this, guys. Of course, I get so many emails from the students that they enrolled into online trainings and they have been cheated by the trainers. There are so many trainers out there who actually charge these students, but they don't really deliver to what they say. Unfortunately, I have sympathy for the students who go through these kind of bad experience. But we at DBA Genesis, if you are one of our previous students, you will resonate with me. Our focus is in getting you the exact real time experience. As I mentioned earlier, I am not a fan of Oracle certification because most of the times what you learn in certification is not used in real time, and most of the times what you use in real time will not be asked into Oracle certification, and that's the main reason I am not a fan of certification. I am fan of real hardcore skills. So this online training is something we are announcing, and let me walk you through what are the training objectives. So this training will have writing PL SQL codes for developing stored procedures, triggers, and packages. Like by the end of the training, you will be able to understand how to write stored procedures, how to write triggers and packages, what are the various PL SQL sections like declare section, execution section, and the exception handling section. Next, you will be able to improve data security, improve the performance of the database, and the integrity of the data. Next, by the end of the training, you will also be managing and creating database sequences, synonym, and tables. And finally, you will be able to preparing for Oracle PL SQL Developer Certified Associate. Now that's the main goal because we want you all to become Oracle PL SQL certified. So now you might ask me a question. Come on, Arun. Just now you were saying you are not fan of certification, and you are not talking about Oracle certification. Trust me, guys. Of course, I am not a fan of the certification, but in order to get weightage in your resume, we have to make sure that you clear the certification. So, what happens is with the real time training that you will be going through with Centel, you would be also learning the topics which are related to Oracle PLSQL developer certification. So that way, this training is custom design. Like I have worked with Centel in order to design the training, which is little bit lean towards real time experience, and also we have added a small taste of PLSQL developer certification topics. So that way it becomes an amazing training for all of you to get the real time experience as an PLSQL developer and also get PLSQL certified. Now let me talk about the training highlights because this is more important for all of you. It's only a weekend batch that we are conducting. The sessions will be held only on Saturdays. Now, why we have chosen Saturday is because definitely it's easy for all of you to join in, and we have kept Sunday. We have not kept Sunday because I mean there is no reason, but we are just skipping Sunday. And why are we skipping? I think because we all want to relax on Sunday. All right. So that's family time. And this is the reason we are conducting this batch only on Saturday. The batch is starting from next weekend. That's on 10th August. And the batch will be ending on 31st August. The batch timings are Indian timing, that is 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. It's an 1.5 hour session. But trust me, guys, if you are in touch with DBA Genesis, you would know that when we start explaining the concepts, the time doesn't matter. All right. So your session would definitely be at least 2 hours or maybe 2.5 hours. So be prepared for it. And just to give you an idea, we have those timings, but all the sessions always get extended because we try to answer each and every query for the students. In the EST timings, the timings are 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can join this batch. The database version that will be working when it comes to PLSQL, you will be dealing with Oracle 12c Release 2. And now the best part is this training. Now these benefits are only for the people who will be joining from this live webinar. You will get a remote cloud lab for practice, which is 100% free with this training. You are not paying anything extra for this remote cloud lab. You will be getting personal PLSQL interview questions from Centel, and also few questions from my end, because we both have like Senthil and I, both of us have sat onto the interviewer chair many a times in the corporate experience, so we can technically help you understand what are the real time questions that interviewers ask, and we can prepare you for the PLSQL interview. Next, you will be getting PLSQL certification dumps. These dumps are the latest dumps. You just need to go through the dumps, book your slot, write your certification, and get Oracle PLSQL developer certified. And finally, on your last day of the training, that's on 31st August 2019, you would be working on a one real-time project which is designed by Centel, and you will have to complete that project in order to get DBA Genesis certification. That project, of course, Centil will be helping you how to complete the project. He will be giving you the project guidelines. You have to use your analytical skills and also whatever you have learned in the training to solve the project. Now, once again, guys, the high level things that this training will include is certificate of completion. You will be getting a certificate of completion after you complete your real time project. You will be getting a dedicated cloud lab for each student. So we are not creating a shared lab. You as a student, like you as one single student, I think that's the best way to provide sorry, that's the best way to frame my sentence. So sorry guys, I'm just getting confused. So each student will have a dedicated lab, nothing to worry. You will have lifetime access to the session recordings, and you will also be getting PLSQL study material. That's something along with the training. It has been designed by Centel. You will be getting offline support from DBA Genesis team. Let's take you have a query, because this session, this training will be conducted only on Saturdays. So if you have doubt from Sunday to next Friday, then you can always send an email and Centil will personally attend you to answer your queries. And then you will get a real-time project solution key at the end of the training. Let's take after you get the real-time project in your hand, and let's take you are facing issues in order to complete the project, you will get a solution key after 1 week of your training completion date. That way, it helps you understand how the problem is solved in real world. So this solution key will be given only in case you are struggling to complete the real time project. And as usual, you will get much more than what has been written over there, because we always have some fun during the trainings. In case if it is your first training with DBA Genesis, then definitely you will have a flavor of fun. Because in case if I am the trainer, of course, even Centil is almost similar to me. If I'm the trainer, what I do is most of the times I spend less time in slides and I spend more time speaking to people, because honestly, guys, I enjoy speaking to people across the globe. All right. So, what is the training fees? It's by default $499 for this training. But as I mentioned, we have a gift for everyone who is on this live webinar. So, I'm going to reveal the gift only for the people who are in this live webinar. If you want to join this training, this will be for $250 for you to join this training. This is a limited time offer, guys, because we don't want this offer to be given to everyone out there. You have taken out time to join this live webinar. So, of course, everybody will be getting an email after this webinar. I'll also be sharing the link to join this training, how you can enroll yourself. So at this stage, like you have more 3 days to join this online training at this price. Like after Tuesday, the price will be $499. And in case if you want to join the online training with Centil, then it will be complete $499. So that's the mega discount for everyone on this live webinar. And what is the registration link? as I mentioned, this discount is only for the students who are available on this live webinar. So what you have to do is you have to go to this link, that is dbagenesis.com. All right, I will come back to this link. First, let me walk you guys through our website. It's a sweet little website where we have courses. So let me pull up. Okay, let me start Google Chrome on the system. All right, I think I have to take a new window. Okay. All right, guys, apologies for this. And let's go to dbagenesis.com. So, guys, this is our platform where we provide all the DBA related trainings. And as you can see, we have the upcoming online training. This is Oracle PL SQL online training with Centel. As I mentioned, it is for $499. This training is, you have all the training details over here, but because you are part of this live webinar, what you have to do is you have to use this coupon code web off, that is webinar offer. And how to use the coupon code I will show you in a minute. But before that, what you can do is go to this link, and then you can go through the class curriculum as to what all topics you will be learning in this online training. You can also click on this button to reveal the entire class curriculum. All right, we have some frequently asked questions. And then once you click on enroll in course for $499, and this is the page where you have to add the coupon code. Click on add coupon, and then make sure you are putting web off and click on apply. Once you do that, you will get right away 50% discount, and you will be only charged $250. Make sure you see this number. All right, in case you have any issues at this checkout page, you can always write to support@dbagenesis.com. This is our support email. You will get immediate support. All right, so that's the way you go with the enrollment for this PLSQL online training with Centel. Now, let me walk you through a little bit about the website. We have, if you go to courses tab, you get all the DBA related courses over here. You can go ahead, look at the courses, you can purchase the courses. And let's assume you are going for Oracle Golden Gate Masterclass. All right. So once you click on this course, and okay, let me walk you through a little bit from this course. I'll close this one. And all right, so you can watch the curriculum, like what all topics you will be learning. For example, in this masterclass, we are actually showing you two replication projects, like Oracle to MySQL replication, and Microsoft SQL Server to Oracle replication. And also, if you scroll down, you can see it, like if you want to watch the recorded videos of previous training, you can also purchase the video course, or you can always request an online training. This is where you can request any online training. It's not like only Golden Gate. If you click on request training, you have to fill up this form, and you can send in all your requests for the online training. So you have to put in your full name, what training you want to request. You can request actually any kind of training, until unless um, it is like related to the database, because we are a DBA platform, right? And describe the skills you would like to acquire through this training. And this is where, guys, once you fill up this form, this is where we arrange one-on-one trainer for you, and the training will be based on your chosen time. We will make sure the trainer is available at the particular time. You can also define your preferred training type. Do you want a weekend only training? Do you want a weekdays training? Or you have any other requirement? You can always specify. And you can always specify which date you want to start your training, what's your contact email, and what's your mobile number. Once you put your mobile number, you will get a call from my team and they will discuss your training requirements. So that's how you browse through our website. That's DBA Genesis platform. And we also have support platform. If you go to support.dbagenesis.com, you can find all the database related articles over here. Like if you go to maybe Oracle Data Guard, you can see all the articles which are related to Oracle Data Guard, like 11G to 12C rolling upgrade, convert physical standby into logical standby, and whatnot. So, how do you enable fast start failover in Data Guard Broker? So that's about website navigation. Let me come back to how do you enroll into the online training. Go to dbagenesis.com. If you scroll down, you will see upcoming online training. You can click on this image and you will be able to register for the training. All right. So, in case you have some questions, because I can see there are a few questions on my screen. So, let me read out those questions and then we will finally wind up our live webinar. So, we have a question saying, like, how much for one on one training? So, Harris, it depends on what type of training you are requesting. Based on your request, as I mentioned, one of our team members will get in touch with you. And trust me, guys, this is an inside secret. Most of the times, my team members are not available. So, what I have to do is I have to sit and personally call one by one to all the training requests. So, you never know, you might encounter a call from myself. And do DBA Genesis has training regarding NoSQL database? Not right now, but very soon we will be having NoSQL database training as well. Thanks both Arun and Centel for this outstanding webinar. Thanks Kabir. And I precisely remember Kabir, I hope you are based out of Pakistan. And thanks for joining this webinar. And we have a question like, do you provide training at free of cost or chargeable? All right, guys, come on, grow up. If you want to be available in this competitive, or if you want to like stay in this competitive world, don't expect free lunches. So if you want free trainings, go watch YouTube videos. And if you want real hardcore experience, be willing to pay, because this real time experience will get you a job where you will be earning more. So focus on the future. Don't look look at things right now. So of course, I 100% understand many a times it's hard for somebody to make the payment because of their financial conditions. But trust me, this is an investment. Always look at education as an investment. And this is my personal quote, if you want to take it. If you invest in yourself, that will give you highest percentage of return when compared to returns when compared to any other kind of investment that you can make. All right, so make sure, if you are asking for free trainings, there are like all the videos are available on YouTube. Go ahead and watch those free videos. All right. Is this advanced PLSQL course or basic PLSQL for beginners? Suryakant, this PLSQL course is mix of both. As I mentioned, we have real-time project at the end of the course. So the thing is like it is mixture of both, the basics, because it will start from scratch and then it will move into the advanced PLSQL. Like for example, you will be writing PLSQL packages. Now that's something, the advanced topics in PLSQL. You will be also working on loops, if then statements, and definitely once you are into the training, I 100% trust Centel. He will be walking you through many of the real time encounters that he had in his real time experience. Now that is pure gold. Okay, so we have a request, can I pay in installment? I think right now we don't have that option. I wish I could help you with that option. In case if that option becomes available, what I can definitely you will get to know via the email. So, guys, in case if you are not connected with DBA Genesis, let's take you, you have never been to DBA Genesis website. I request you to send an email to support at the rate dbagenesis.com, uh, in case you want to know the link for this webinar replay, if you want to get the link to register on the training or anything, you just want to thank us. Because I love those kind of emails where you take out time and kind of like respond to us. All right. Next question. Arun, can someone who is new to Oracle take PLSQL training? I would, I am skeptical about this one because you have to first decide whether you want to become an Oracle DBA or you want to become an Oracle developer. So, to be very frank, if I were you, for example, I would definitely learn PLSQL because, guys, this is how I started my career. I tried to learn PLSQL, but I'm not a kind of like fan of programming, and I performed poor in writing the loops and understanding those stuff. So, what I did is I moved or shifted my career to Oracle database administration. So, what I would suggest to you is why not test the waters? You can definitely join the training and see if you have an inclination towards programming languages. Also, one more point to add. I know we are running out of time, but as everybody knows, I'm known for taking longer sessions. So just to add one more point over there, see, if you want to learn any programming language, trust me, PLSQL is the simplest programming language when it is compared to Java, C, C++. All right. So if you want to see whether you are good at like programming languages, then I think that's the you would be joining the perfect programming language training. So I think you can go ahead and test the waters. Kabir, oh, sorry, I missed it. You're from Bangladesh. All right, guys, it was awesome to have you all on this online webinar. I personally enjoyed this webinar. I would like to thank Centel. Centel, if you have any closing statements, I'll just let me know.
Yeah, thank you very much, Arun, and all the audience who patiently listened to us and posted all your questions you know, and it was an awesome session. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Arun, for organizing this, and yeah, all the best.
Amazing, guys. Thank you so much, Centil. Thanks, everyone who joined our session. Once again, one final goodbye. But before that, any training requirements, write to support at the rate dbagenesis.com. I think you have the email address in the chat. And I look forward to get an email from you, whether you want to say hi, whether you want to say thank you, whether you want to stay connected, whether you want to join the online training with Centil. I would love an email from you. All the best, guys. And Senthil and I look forward to see you on the PLSQL training that is starting from the 10th August. Make sure you are taking the benefit of the 50% discount before coming Tuesday. All the best. Take care. Bye bye.